Actually, there is something that way, but we'll go to that after we get the temple done, because everything else will open up to us. Actually, no, we can now get into the Lake Hylia now. We can go into here, and we find ourselves the oracles, because the Capcom did make the oracles of the Oracle games, so it's nice to have them seen here. But these guys are before everything happens, but you have it, the Oracle of Secrets. Sad your game got canned. I'm really sad. Maybe if they do remake the Oracle games, like Link's Awakening and everything, I wouldn't be mad to see, an Oracle of Secrets game being made. I wouldn't mind it. Oh. Wow, I just had the best idea. I can rent out my house for some extra cash. So yeah, now we have another side quest with the Luigi character, and that we can give up his rental house to one of the oracles, and by doing so you can get yourself a charm, which is really useful, and you have something I can't fuse with. Well, and we also can't do anything about this now. We'll do this thing later, but for right now, the charms are very useful when we get them. We'll get them. We'll get them once we get there. But I think it's only fitting now we get ourselves to Lake Hylia and start Temple of Droplets. And get that quest started. Let's go to the quest line. There we go. Actually, I want to fuse with you. Can I fuse with you again? That just makes sense. I've already used up the one required when I needed. So let's see if you fuse again. I've got one exactly for you, good sir. See, I told you I would be back. That opens up a doorway in the Western Wood. And we have a lot of stuff unlocking here. That's a lot of stuff to unlock and a lot of stuff to get through. And what it means for good luck, I don't know, but we'll have to see later. Because we're going to the Temple of Droplets now. And that's going to be a part of the rest of the session tonight. So, but first, before this will be that'll be a separate episode, as we all know. We come down here, we grab ourselves a piece of heart deep in the lake, a new heart container. I needed that. I definitely needed that. All right. Ow! Hey, why don't you stop hitting me like that? Ugh. Well, we have we'll go through that cave and everything once we're done with the Temple of Droplets by next time. So. Let's say, folks, let's go into the Temple of Droplets, and let's see what this temple has in store for us. We must shrink down and get there now. Huzzah! Hello, everyone, and look at this. Here's the Temple of Droplets. Cold as ice down here.
Chatter, chatter. I'm freezing in here. If I don't find that element quickly, I'm going to be turned into a hatsicle. Hey, master.
Okay, jeez. Whoa! The boss door's right there. I mean, this temple...
Ah, what? This floor is made of ice. Be careful not to fall and freeze your backside to the floor, Azler.
But I think there might have been a case for that. I don't know. Maybe there was a case where the Azler or Link here was going to fall back on his face or something, like the Wind Waker version of him. So maybe that was a case-by-case basis on that one, but it doesn't happen. So our water dungeon of the game is also a combination of an ice temple. And while I don't really find of ice temples, namely some dungeons are horrible with ice temples, namely Link to the Past, we gotta do this now. So the main gimmick of this dungeon is to warm things up.
Hey, the sunlight's shining through. Ah, it's so nice and warm. I can feel myself starting to defrost again.
So yeah, we need to start melting things. But we also know that opening that door up will allow us to fall down here, which allows us to get this key. This key is stuck in a block.
It looks like something is frozen inside that block of ice. Answer, why don't you take a look?
Alrighty, we can do that. Put like there. Push like that. And I'm surprised we get the key out really fast. There must be a concentrated light coming through. Also, I kind of feel like this is kind of one of the game. This game's got the best. This has got like one of the best bosses in the game. Well, at least, okay, not the best boss, but the one that has the most unique combat style, really. And we'll get to that once we get to the end of said dungeon today. But like so, we have to get ourselves around here and get a key, because we can't go anywhere until we get the boss key. Yeah, it's, again, it's so unique factor of this that we get the boss key right off the bat. Like this, again, not really much of Zelda dungeons really do this type of thing. But, yeah. So we finally get the boss key. Now, I want to say we need to push this down. Again, it's been many years since I've actually played this game, but I know some way how to get across this pattern, like the back of my mind, or in some fashion. Has there ever been a dungeon you always hate when you go into a Zelda game? It can be from anyone, even from Tears of the Kingdom if you want to go in that one. But I think, I still kind of feel like anytime it's A Link to the Past is original ice dungeon. That is if you didn't do the whole, Misery, the Misery Mire Swamp by default. So you do like that, you get yourself the big key. Alright, now to get back, we need to swing this back over like so. Unfortunately, in this game, we do not have the means of warping back to the dungeon's starting point. So, unless we get those teleportation panels, which only selectively go us to a secret room later on. Okay. So this dungeon might be really short, because my goodness, we already got the boss key. We didn't need a map or anything. I mean, this is like must be a really short dungeon if you catch my drift. This has got to be where the boss room is, right? There it is!
Hey! Well done, Nestor. This looks like to be the element, alright. But what do? We can't even touch it while it's trapped in that ice. We need to melt it off somehow.
Now, you might be thinking, well, why don't you just grow big, break the temple off on the top, and let the sunlight hit the element, shrink. Oh, that's right. If they break the dungeon's top, there'll be no more portal left. So they're kind of in a predicament. They have to somehow melt this element before too long. But just like in the now we've got our new item here, the swimming rod, or the flippers actually. We can now swim, and now we can dive underwater to avoid obstacles. So bear that in mind. There's a lot of opportunities that we have to dive ourselves under the water to collect things. But I can tell you right now, this dungeon's going to be, like, you think, oh, short. No, this is, I would say, contendably to be the second longest dungeon in the game. And it gets very tedious very fast. Despite the fact this boss has a unique style of gameplay. So we have to use our Gust Jar for stuff we've got. Again, this is like our, this is our... Like I said before, we've already had the Fortress of Winds and the Cave of Flames has our two main dungeons of the bigger size. Oh, there's the dungeon map. We'll get that later. We come down here. And that's kind of, this is our second and last Minish dungeon. After this, it's going to be a mixture of both being big and small. But this is like our second and only last dungeon that is going to be strictly just small. You have a small key, you can use it to open up doors and locks. You can only use it in this dungeon. Now, you have to dive underneath there to get it, because that tablet right there will tell you, like, dive to the bottom of the jar to get your key. Not bad at all. And thanks to that little climbing ring we've got earlier, and we got bracelets and we got climbing rings, man, Link should be able to grab something and just chuck it, That should be something we should have had in this game. Just had the ability just to push anything, no matter if it was part of the puzzle or not. Now I'm gonna go grab that chest. Actually, no, if I go all the way around, I'll be right back to the beginning and get it later. We'll get the dungeon map later. Let's go and continue on. The dungeon map doesn't really help us all that much, because technically we're gonna be exploring every room this dungeon has to offer. So we can grab all the chests and everything. Now, I want to make a random edition on that one, on the dungeon that, the Cave of Flames that we did not get. And I didn't mention in the edited version of it. But yeah, the one thing we missed was actually the dungeon map. We did not get the dungeon map chest in there. So technically, that's something we can technically skip. We don't need to worry about that at all. Like that one, we're gonna get that later. I'm not gonna miss that dungeon map. So yeah, we now have to push this thing around. Who knows? This might get broken up into 2 parts. Who knows for how long this stinking dungeon is? Ooh. Ow! I was underneath the water. Especially hitboxes. Ugh. By the way, ice and snow. I've told this before in many playthroughs beforehand, but I am not a big fan of ice and snow. It's just it's cold, it's monotonous, it gets everywhere. And I've said it before, I like spring and fall, but when it gets to the point of cold winter nights, you're just like, I just don't want to be like this. Oh, and we got ourselves a mini boss. The guys are back. Oh, I gotta get over there and ice. And yeah, this boss is a little harder to go through because now you have to deal with ice. But this guy should go down with no problem since we have a stronger sword. It might have a little bit more health, but I'll take maybe 2 cycles to get through him instead of 3. But like the silkworm is just here for some reason. I guess they didn't have. Oh, and he has webs, and I can't get him. Ah! Curse you, webs. If the webs give you trouble, you know what to do. Get the gust jar and just eliminate that elimination altogether. My goodness, that hitbox is very wonky. Get out of here. Come on out. There you go. 2 cycles takes him down. And that opens up a door for us. Which gives us the compass. We need the dungeon map too. We'll get that later. Trust me, I'll get it later. Don't worry. Some couples might think, you missed the dungeon map. Go back and get it. We'll go back and get the dungeon map. Don't you fret, guys. Do not fret. I'm not gonna leave a dungeon chest unturned this time around. But also the fact that we gotta do a lot of backtracking in this dungeon too. That's why this dungeon gets hated by most people. It has the most backtracking of any dungeon, I think. Because there's a lot of places that are covered in ice and everything, and the item we get in this dungeon is going to help us melt those things. And a lot of the stuff here is like, oh yeah, you have to come back here if you want to get everything. Luckily, there's not very many chests you have to melt just to get the exit for this. Oh, this thing. This puzzle's annoying, for the record. At least your first time playthrough of it is a little wonky. It's just there. It's a there puzzle where you have to learn placement. That's what you have to do. You have to learn placements of the blocks to get this one thing down. You know about those puzzles where you have to build your way forward? Yeah, this is what this has to do. So what we want to do is get rid of this. Get rid of you, because you're going to cause me some trouble. Hey, die. So I want to push this block down first. I'm going to go this one over here. And we want to push this one right here. Now, all these have to be moved, I think, except for one. So bear that in mind. We're going to push this one right here. Ooh. Push you up like that. Then you push this block right here. And you push this one, and you can push either one up or down, but for, you know, symmetry, we'll push this one down just to be safe. There you go, that's the puzzle done. Yeah, that one ice block is a decoy. You don't have to push it at all. But also we have to do this puzzle again, because over there is a chest over there, and but that chest is frozen. That chest is frozen as far as I'm concerned. It is. Most of the chests down here will basically consist of kenstone, so yeah, a lot of fusing potential we're going to get from these things. But just like before, these things are just randomized keystone drops, so. Also, we get new flies that basically drop, I hope that's mud, on you. Because if they land on you, it changes Link's color to a darker color. And I would have to say that's either basically mud or something that's probably not sanitary. But these things will also keep picking up that. But they also can pick up jars too. Which can also, I think, can turn Link's color. So basically now you get coated in the dust of the jars. Which makes you question what those contents of the jars really had.
Asda, where are you? Are you still underneath me? It's so dark, I can't even see beyond my beak. Or in front of my face. Watch your step. I don't want you to trip over anything.
Like a cliff right there? Yeah. A little dark room. Nothing can harm us there. We got bugs showing up themselves. Goodness. Yeah, if you want to know about this place is considered to be broken up into two halves, a left and a right side. And we have another boss. It's a trio of these bugs again. The mini boss is here at long last to take you out. These guys are no problem whatsoever. Again, if you just be resilient and try to attack them while they have to throw the beak out there, you should be, your pincers out there, they should be fine. Come on, you cursed bugs. If I was bigger, I would squash you with my boot. But that gives us the blue portal, which doesn't really help us all that much. But I'm gonna go get that dungeon map. The dungeon map right now, because we now have it. Might as well get back here and grab it so that those are watching this so far in the video be like, he forgot the dungeon map. Don't you fret, I have the dungeon map in hand. Dungeon map obtained. Good. Now we can move forward. But that was actually not the mini boss, as one would think. It's like, yeah, it's got the music and everything. Yeah, that's not the mini boss of the dungeon, as one would may seem to be. Very weird. And this game, this temple has like multiple different mini bosses. That's just one of them. When we come over here, though, we have to open up the door. So we power up our sword to make ourselves a copy and push this lever down. It takes 2 people to push. And the sunlight opens up. Looks like an Octorok got frozen here too. I wonder if that's what the water element did.
Of course! Sunlight! Once we get some sunlight to melt the ice, that element will be as good as ours.
You know, they're kind of a lost cause in that regard. It's like, oh, that thing will melt. It's like, oh, was that going to stop the thing right there? Obviously going to attack us soon.